Wrestling Jeopardy! And now, here is your host, Kevin J. Callis.
If you're a huge wrestling trivia fan, you've come to the right place. This is Wrestling Jeopardy, the ultimate interactive game show where you're the contestant.
Just remember, there's some mighty fierce competition left awaiting you.
And now let's reveal the 5 categories that you'll be quizzed on in this episode. Beginning with face turns, followed by backstage beefs. Our third category is faction enforcers. Our fourth category is power couples. And our fifth category, as voted on by you, the WrestleTrivia community, your 3 choices that you had to choose from this week were trivia about Big E, trivia about Kofi Kingston, or trivia about Xavier Woods. And over 60% of you chose to be quizzed on trivia about the powerhouse of positivity. The fifth category will be about Big E.
You guessed it.
And that sound means it's time for the 200-point job around, the easiest round in Wrestling Jeopardy. If you'd like to keep track of your score, make sure you check out WrestleTrivia.com, where you can download our official scorecard.
You're welcome.
All right, let's begin the Jeopardy round now with the first clue from Face Turns, worth 200 points. This honorary oos of the bloodline took to Twitter after the 2023 Royal Rumble and posted a pic of multiple framed photographs placed near a garbage can. Having finally had enough of being bossed around by the tribal chief, the correct answer is Sami Zayn. And we're on to the second clue of the 200-point jobber round. It's from Backstage Beefs. Tempers between these two superstars had flared so much in 1997 that they exchanged blows off camera during a live episode of Monday Night Raw in Hartford, Connecticut that June. Now by mid-1997, the tension between Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels finally reached its boiling point. Moving on now to the first clue from Faction Enforcers, worth 200 points. Often straight-faced, she was the serious muscle behind D-Generation X. And she had the physique to thrive in this role, as fans took her seriously against any man on the roster who is China. Let's jump into some trivia now about some power couples worth 200 points. Having made appearances on screen in TNA, Ring of Honor, New Japan, and AEW, fans finally got to see these two together in WWE during the main event of Night 2 of WrestleMania 40. In terms of power couples, there's arguably no bigger one today than Cody and Brandi Rhodes. And let's finish up the 200-point jump around now with this clue about Big E. A former 8-time WWE Tag Team Champion, Big E played this team sport while attending the University of Iowa. And E was a defensive lineman for the Iowa Hawkeyes. What is football?
Sit. Hut.
All right, we're jumping back across the board now to the second clue from Face Turns, and it's worth 400 points. After nearly 4 years on Ted DiBiase's payroll, this bodyguard finally took a stand against the corrupt millionaire's abuse at the 1991 Royal Rumble. A brilliant slow burn wrestling storyline. Who is wrestling superstar Virgil? All right, can't we all just get along and try to answer this clue from Backstage Beefs, which, by the way, is worth 400 points? At a commercial shoot promoting SummerSlam 2006, these two former world champions got into a widely reported fistfight that lasted close to 5 minutes. Who were Booker T and Batista? Up next is another clue about Faction Enforcers worth 400 points. His in-ring accolades are being a 6-time NWA WCW World Tag Team Champion, a 4-time former NWA WCW World Television Champion, and a 1-time WWE World Tag Team Champion. The no-nonsense enforcer of the Four Horsemen, who is AA Arn Anderson. Here comes another clue about power couples, worth 400 points. One might think that these two lovebirds reside in Suplex City, but they actually live on a farm in Saskatchewan, Canada. Who are Brock Lesnar and Sable? And let's close out the 400-point round now with another clue about a Big E. Before he joined the New Day, Big E got rid of this last name. What is Langston?
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
All right, 10 questions down, 15 to go, plus the daily double, a bonus question, and final Jeopardy. Here comes the 600-point clue now from Face Turns. In January 2003, this superstar briefly turned heel on RVD. However, it ended just a month later when he tried to save Stacy Keibler from an attack by Christian and Chris Jericho. Who is Jeff Hardy? On to the second clue of the 600-point round. And here's another backstage beef. Stemming from what they wrote in their respective autobiographies, words quickly transitioned into fisticuffs between these two backstage at Raw in 2004. Who are Mick Foley and the Nature Boy, Ric Flair? Moving on to faction enforcers once again, and this clue is worth 600. Initially considered for Batista's role in Evolution, this former WCW talent was replaced even after shooting vignettes alongside Triple H, Ric Flair, and Randy Orton. It's one of the biggest what-ifs in WWE history, but what if Mark Jindrak was in Evolution instead of Batista? All right, here comes the aforementioned bonus question. Now, how this works, if you answer this clue correctly, you will double your score. In the dying days of WCW, Mark Jindrak was a member of the Natural Born Thrillers and a two-time WCW Tag Team Champion alongside this partner. Who is Sean O'Hare? Hopping over to another power couple, and this is going to be worth 600 points. Despite working for separate companies from 2021 to 2025, this couple owns and operates their own gym and wrestling school called Dark Arts. Reunited and it feels so good. Who are Aleister Black and Selena Vega? And here comes the final clue of the 600-point round. Another clue about the powerhouse of positivity. There were plans for Big E to make his main roster WWE debut as the fourth member of this faction. As told a few years back on his WWE 24 documentary, what is the Shield?
Sierra Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta, Shield.
And here comes the first clue of the 800-point round from Face Turns. Ah yes, the daily double where you can make or break your game. You can really catch up to somebody or you could basically lose it all.
What is? Yeah!
The category once again is Face Turns. Place your wager now. All right, time is up. Here's this episode's daily double clue. Daniel Bryan briefly joined the Wyatt family before famously turning on them less than a month later after losing a steel cage match to this tag team. Now, during the contest against the Usos, cracks began to show and the alliance between Bryan and Wyatt was broken just 3 weeks after it was formed. Here comes another backstage beef worth 800 points. On a 2015 episode of Chris Jericho's Talk is Jericho podcast, Y2J recalled a 2006 fight between these two giants and compared it to Godzilla versus King Kong. And Jericho was referencing how the Big Show once traded locker room fisticuffs with none other than the Great Khali. Here comes another clue from Faction Enforcers. This one's worth 800. Jake Hager, joining this faction to close the first episode of AEW Dynamite, received a polarizing reaction from wrestling fans. And the artist formerly known as Jack Swagger joined the Inner Circle. On to another power couple worth 800 points. Together since 2010, this couple met in TNA and had a son named Donovan in 2014. Who are Nick Aldis and Mickie James. And we're closing out the 800 point round now with another clue about Big E. In June 2013, Big E was revealed to be a secret admirer of this WWE diva, sort of. The entire situation ended up being a trick orchestrated by AJ Lee as Caitlyn was humiliated and literally dumped in the center of the ring.
So this is gonna be good.
All right, here you go. You've done it. You have made it to the main event. The most difficult round in Wrestling Jeopardy. 5 1,000 point questions that are guaranteed to put your wrestling knowledge to the test.
Ready?
Yes.
Ready?
And here comes the final clue from the category Face Turns. The Reverend Slick attempted to humanize the new babyface character of Kamala by teaching him how to do this. Teaching the Ugandan giant how to bowl was no easy task for the Slickster.
Stick your fingers in it.
On to the final clue from Backstage Beefs, worth 1,000 points. Booked to appear at ECW's WrestlePalooza 98 pay-per-view, this WWE Hall of Famer got into a scuffle with New Jack over $300 worth of marijuana. Now obviously New Jack wanted his money back for the drugs that he gave to the Junkyard Dog, but JYD just refused to pay Jack back. On to the last clue from Faction Enforcers, worth 1,000. When Chavo Guerrero joined La Familia, the superstar was also added and pushed as their burly bodyguard. Who is Bam Neely? Alright, 2 clues are left before Final Jeopardy. Here comes the final clue from Power Couples. This hot couple flew to Alaska and got married on a glacier in April 2022. Well, that's one way to make sure that the usual wrestling shenanigans don't befall your wedding. Who are Killer Cross and Scarlett? And let's close out the board with this final clue about Big E, worth 1,000. During his time in WWE Developmental, Big E pitched the idea that he could be a wrestling mailman called this. E was so confident that this concept would deliver, but no one else saw the potential in a character named Mel Man. Alright, 26 clues are down and only one separates you from becoming the ultimate WrestleTrivia champion. Let's find out what this episode's Final Jeopardy category is. They don't want none. Alright, time is up. Here's your multiple choice Final Jeopardy clue. AJ Styles' first WWE theme was originally intended for what wrestler? Is it A. Bull Dempsey, B. James Storm, C. Otis Dosovic, or D. Tucker Knight? You have 15 seconds. Good luck. Well, hopefully you got this answer correct, but if not, sorry about your damn luck. Because according to the Phenomenal One, his theme was actually made for James Storm during the Cowboys' short stint in NXT in 2015. And that does it for another episode of Wrestling Jeopardy. Thanks again so much for watching, and thank you to these contributing editors. My name's Kevin J. Callis, and I'll see you next time.